heard about the Odyssey or watched the film, but what if the person who wrote the Odyssey, Homer, was a woman? Just hear me out for a second. You hear about the Odyssey, or perhaps right now you've seen the movie, and of course everyone thinks of an epic Greek hero fighting monsters just to get back home to his loyal wife. And it's the ultimate classic Greek story of adventure. But what if I told you that beneath this heroic narrative is a psychological horror story? And the person we say wrote the Odyssey, he might not even have existed. Welcome back to Pretty Things with a Strange History, and today we're talking about a story that's quite big at the moment on film. It has existed for hundreds of years. The Odyssey. So who wrote the Odyssey and when? So history tells us that it was written by a blind poet called Homer. But you see, historians have been debating for centuries whether or not Homer was a real person. In fact, many experts believe that the Odyssey wasn't written by one man, that it was a collection of oral songs told by hundreds of storytellers over generations. Basically, one giant ancient telephone game that was eventually stitched together and stamped with a single famous pen name. But why was the Odyssey written? It was meant to explore the terrifying costs between war and trauma. And if you actually look what happens in the text or in the film, it's delightfully unhinged. We praise Odysseus as this great family man, but during his 10-year journey home from the Trojan War, he spends years willingly trapped in the beds of beautiful goddesses like Calypso and Circe, while his crew gets slaughtered. And when he finally makes it back to his wife Penelope, he doesn't just like tap her on the shoulder and go, "I'm home." He disguises himself, locks all the doors in his palace, and brutally massacres hundreds of men who were trying to marry his wife, turning his own dining hall into a bloodbath. But the most fascinating thing about the Odyssey is the hidden theme. You see, the women were the smartest players in this game. While Odysseus was out slaughtering monsters with brute force, Penelope was running a 20-year psychological operation of her own. She tricked an entire army of suitors by promising to choose a husband only after she finished a burial shroud, which she secretly unraveled. The poem, The Odyssey, it wasn't written to praise the violence of men. It was a shocking tribute to the quiet, strategic brilliance of women surviving in an ancient, violent world. Maybe Homer themselves was of which gender, do you think? Let me know in the comments. Follow for more Pretty Things with Strange Histories.